Hi guys, it's Sophie. So I'm going to do a book haul today, and I don't know when this is from until, and some of them you've seen before, but I don't think I've like wrapped them all up, and I find like I like to watch lots of books in a book haul and I don't mind so much if I've seen them before, but I like having like boom boom boom, so I thought I would just show you what I picked up recently. You won't have seen all of them, and just share why I'm excited, why I got them, and obviously if you guys are excited, let me know. The first one I got is a bit of like a random one, like I don't really know why I decided now was the time, but I picked up Othello by William Shakespeare. This is one of my favourite Shakespeare plays. We did it at school, and Iago I loved so much, and I saw Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts showing off one of these editions, which are the Pelican Shakespeare editions, and I've been looking for some nice editions of Shakespeare for a while because I've decided that something I want to try and challenge myself to do when Round the World is finished is read as many Shakespeare plays as I can and just do it fairly chill, not like in one year, but just over time to collect them. And I wanted to have a series I really like the look of to collect, and I thought seeing as Othello is one of my favourites, I'd get that one. And if you have watched my last video, you'll know that I'm going to Turkey, and I'm planning on taking this one to Turkey with me. I think it's maybe like the kind of like Othello is throughout the play like a Moor, and it's kind of like he's a foreigner, and I kind of think like maybe it's like that kind of part of the world is like where he's supposed to have come from maybe, although I don't really know, like I feel like from when I remember reading it, he could have been from like the north of Africa maybe. But anyway, so I'm going to try and read that one there, and I think that'll be quite a funny like holiday book to go with, but I don't remember it being actually that long of a play. Yeah, it's like 140 pages or so, and we'll see whether or not I like it as much as I did when I was a kid. The next one I picked up on the recommendation of Ollie Bliss, and I showed this one in my LGBTQA book recommendations video for Pride, and that one is If You Could Be Mine by Sara Farizan, and this is the story of a female-female relationship in Iran where gay relationships are punishable by execution. It's YA, it's like really short, so the book itself is like 150 pages, but like it's short, it should be here, so I reckon it's probably like 200 pages long. Yeah, and I know loads of booktubers picked up when he recommended it on the day, and I think people have liked it in general, so hopefully I'll like it too. The next one I was really kindly sent for review, and that one is The People in the Trees by Hanya Yangihara. Now I read A Little Life by Hanya Yangihara, and I knew because I had a boyfriend at the time who was like into all the same books as I did that she'd written a book before, which is The People in the Trees. And he'd only read that one, and was reading A Little Life at the time. And I kind of didn't want to read it at the time because it felt like that was what he was doing and that was what I was doing, but when it was on the like, would you like a book, I was like, yeah, do you know what, I really do. It sounds absolutely mental. So it follows a doctor who is on an expedition to a remote Micronesian island in search of a lost tribe, but he encounters a strange group of jungle dwellers who seem to have attained immortality, and he goes back with this immortality cure or whatever, like, and something happens, and I don't know. Yeah, it sounds weird, and I remember seeing it around when it came out, like when did it come out? Ages ago. I remember seeing it out like when A Little Life was out, 2013, but it never jumped at me as it was, and once it was like I was reading one and he was reading the other, I felt like it wasn't mine anymore. But I'm interested, and I used to be obsessed as a child with stories set in the Amazon or in rainforests or in jungles, and I have a bit of a soft spot for them, like now, even as an adult, so I think I might enjoy that. The next one I have is one that I pre-ordered, and like one of two maybe pre-orders I've done this whole year. So this one is So Lucky by Nichola Griffith, and this is a story about a woman who is also a lesbian, but that isn't the main point of the book, who is very successful, and I think she owns a business. Yeah, she's the head of an AIDS foundation, and she's married and happy and everything's going fantastically, and then she finds out she has MS, and it's about her life coping with having this illness and what you have when your body is kind of giving up on you. The author has MS, so this is an Own Voices book, and it just had some really like good pre-release praise on Instagram, and yeah, I was just really drawn to it. I don't know, I feel like it's probably going to be one of those books that is quite hard to read because you feel the fragility of your own body, if that makes sense, but hopefully I really enjoy it. The next two I got for review, the first of which is White Houses by Amy Bloom, which is the story of what's she called? I think I keep saying it Hicks, it's not, it's Hitchcock, Lorena Hitchcock, who has a relationship with Eleanor Roosevelt whilst her husband is in the White House. And it is all kind of drawn from factual letters that the two women wrote to one another at the time and are stored in the Roosevelt archive, which is kind of cool. But it is a kind of imagined fictional retelling of what that relationship was and what the president knew and didn't know, and it's supposed to be like really good historical fiction with lesbians in it, or bisexuals and lesbians in it. And yeah, I'm down for that. I heard it talked about on What Page Pod, which I've listened to all of it now, so I'm going to shut up about it. But hopefully I really enjoy it. I'm excited for this. I think also my mum might like this, so maybe when I finish it I'll hand it on to her. The next one I have is one, again, I was sent for review, and it is The Shepherd's Hut by Tim Winton. I don't know too much about this one though. I've seen it round a lot. I've seen a lot of people kind of chatting about it. I know that it's the story of a young Australian boy, and it's kind of like a coming of age story, and he runs away like into the outback basically. He crosses the salt lands of Western Australia and kind of ends up getting lumped in with all of these criminals and other kind of people who are like wasters, and yeah, it's kind of him growing up in that situation. One of the reasons I requested this for review, and this is like early prediction time, I haven't even read it yet. I feel like it's the kind of book that might get picked up for prizes later in the year, and I'm going to try and read some, so I thought I'll get a bit of a head start, and if not, it sounds interesting anyway, right? But just something about it made me feel like it was probably a prize book, so we'll see. The next one I have, also for review, I've been, because of the money situation, really going for it with review copies at the moment, and therefore reading lots of new books. And that is The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner, which I just started last night and I'm loving so far. It's the story of a woman who is in a women's prison for something that's happened between her and an ex-partner who was abusive, and she has a young son, I think he's 2 or 3, that she leaves behind in the outside world. We know from the very beginning of the book, like 4 or 5 pages in, that she's serving 2 consecutive life sentences, so she's never getting out of prison, and we kind of follow her in. Yeah, I've only really just started, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and yeah, I'm going to take, this is the book I'm taking with me this weekend, and hopefully I will finish it this weekend. I think it's quite big, but you know, I feel like I could easily fly through this one. And then the last book I have to show you I picked up today, because I had a doctor's investigation today and it was a bit nasty, and I wanted to like look after myself and do a bit of self-care, and I've seen this one around all over the place, and I'm probably going to save it for my holiday, but I do want to read it straight away, and that is The Water Cure by Sophie Mackintosh. You've all probably heard about it already, but it is the story, or kind of a dystopia, I guess. Yeah, it's a dystopia, I think, about a world in which when men touch women they hurt them or kill them, and we follow this like collection of women who are trying to avoid men. That's what I think it's about anyway, from all of the other booktubers. Yeah, I have heard good things. I think it sounds like, you know, an allegorical novel. I think I'm going to enjoy it, and I feel like because of the people who've recommended it, I kind of know what to expect from the writing, and I think that it will be like a really solid, just good book from this year. So yeah, this was one that I saw and I'd seen, but was like, do you need it in hardback? And then I was like, no, fuck it, just get it. So yeah, that's the last one I have for now at least. Let me know, there's lots of new stuff in there, lots and lots of new stuff, and then Othello. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're excited for or have read and loved any of these. Don't tell me if you hated them, I want to be really excited for them. Yeah, and anything else you want to comment down below, please do feel free. I'll see you guys soon in my next one. Bye!